And we're back with some more oxygen not included. And today it's all about the bees. We are going to get these bees and transport them back to our home planet. Of course, we're going to do a little bit of tidying up before, because if we didn't do at least one or two side projects, we wouldn't get anything done now, would we? For the start, we're just going to put in some bedrooms here. There's been a great drive to get this cryo tank unleashed, so we're going to have to release that duplicant, which means we're going to need a little bit more space for everyone, but that's fine. We'll stick down some cots, throw down a little dining area here, and then we can open up the cryo tank. Excellent. We now have a great dining hall down the bottom. Great hall barracks. We can start deleting some of this old stuff and moving everyone to the newer equipment. So we'll stick Sinathrak and Sinathrod down there. We'll also move their dining tables. Delete our old beds and things like that. We don't want the new duplicant getting confused. And let's just open the sucker up. Let's defrost our friend. Come on. A barely working cryo tank. 3000 has been uncovered, containing a Rowan inside in a frozen state. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're all happy. Great, great. Let's see what Rowan's like. They're an artist. That's, yeah, irritable bowel, caregiver, binge eater, sticky bomber. So they have a little bonus to medicine. They use the bathroom a little bit slower, but they've got a massive bonus to decorating. So they're, yeah, 8 in creativity. Guess they're going to be making our statues. Well, we need one of those anyway. This actually kind of works out for us. Let's assign them out and get finished. And we do have to rename them first. And since they were born on a swamp planet and it was requested, please welcome Shrek to the team. For no more reason than they were born on a swamp planet. I mean, that seems almost discriminatory at that point. Before we go down here and take care of the bees, we're just going to sort out food. Now for food, we're going to plant mealwood. Not native to this planet, but we shipped it in from our homeworld. So we've got a bunch of lead and mealwood seeds over there, just so we can make this a nice little stable location. The reason we're not using the bog bucket is that takes polluted water, and yeah, polluted water is actually useful for a fair few things, so let's not waste it, I suppose. Alright, quick setup of mealwood seeds here, and we're good to go on removing bees. That there is going to be 50 mealwood. That should produce enough mealwood to feed 3 duplicants, so we should be fine there. We'll stick a little ration box in here. It'll be submerged in CO2. It won't be great, but it should at least keep the food fresh a little bit longer, and we shouldn't get any massive spoilage. Now down here, we got to find a way to get in at these bees. In fact, these bees have been quite productive. How much uranium you got in there? 42 kilos. That's enough to run a reactor for 4 days. You've got enough for 8.9 days, 9 days, and you're up to 6.7 days. Right. Now, there was some questions as to why we don't just use this uranium to run a reactor. Well, I want to run a lot of reactors. I want to run just one. And I want to really maximize the use of all of this new content. So, let's just, go nuts. Let's make lots and lots of bees. All right, down here, though, we're going to have to put in our... Oh, there's going to be lots of radiation in here, so I think we'll put in some rad suits. That's why we ship some lead over. And under stations, we've got ourselves our lead suit checkpoint and our lead docks. I'm thinking we're only going to need 2 of these. Let's say I'll put one there and... Oh, 1 second. Small change in plan. We're going to move this up a floor. That way we can bring people down here, block off this route, and then we can have them sort of access the biome from multiple directions. We are going to want to harvest the uranium out of here at some point, and it'd be nice to have our suits set up in advance. However, we're going to need power and oxygen for these. Oxygen-wise, I'm thinking we're just going to extend this pipe down. That should be, well, the simplest way to do things. We'll actually have it as an offshoot. Just right there. We don't need a whole flow of oxygen going to here. They shouldn't be down here very often. Harvesting these things is very intermittent, and we're not going to be automating it too much. It's going to be mostly manual, because going in there you get stung a lot and people get injured, and it's messy, okay? So we're just going to mass produce a bunch of bees, and then use those masses of bees to only harvest them very infrequently to get vast amounts of enriched uranium. What's the theory? Whether or not we can actually get that to work is, well, we'll find out, I suppose. Now, I think we're also going to need to put in some coal generators. How much did we get coal on this planet? I never even checked for that. 400 kilo... Wait, what? Okay, coal is not an option. What are we going to use for power? Well, I think we're going solar then. Yeah, I think it's our best bet. Making a nuclear reactor here would take way, way, way too long with just the small crew we have. So we have already started digging up towards space. It'll just be a case of continuing that on, and then we can get up there and maybe throw down 2 or 3 solar panels. That should more than tide us over. Glass-wise, yeah, there's plenty of glass lying around here that we can just grab. There's 25 in each one of those panels. There's 100 in each one of those tiles. 25 in all of those panels. Same over here. There's glass everywhere. We'll be able to easily afford 2 solar panels with ease. I put the deconstruction of all of these glass pieces on a lower priority, so they're all on priority 4. And then we've been slowly digging our way up here. We've managed to get up to this section, but you'll notice there was a little bit of a leak there. A bunch of gasket. I think that door is holding. Oh, should we fix that? Nah, that'll go away. I think we'll put our exit out this direction. We'll put down a liquid lock right here, and we're going to want to use ethanol. It's just too cold in here to keep anything else liquid, so I'm thinking we put in an ethanol-based liquid lock right there. We have ethanol here, and actually this pool is bigger. We'll grab this pool of ethanol down here, and we'll use that. This is not going to be anything complicated. All we want to do is grab some of this ethanol and use it for, well, use it for the lock. It should be fairly straightforward. There's more than enough down there to fill the lock, and this stuff doesn't freeze until it hits what temperature? Minus 114. I think it'll do for our little space portal over here. Now, let's see, where do we want to put this exactly? Cleaning out these locks before you use them. Simple enough plan. Put down a storage bin, set it to sweep only, and select everything. And that way you can just sweep up what's in here, and it will all get dumped into those containers. We have nothing really else that's doing storage around here, except I think rot pile. We have a rot pile storage over here, so if any of this food rots, our people come along, pick it up, and dump it into the rot pile storage, where it can then, you know, turn into polluted dirt or whatever. We don't care, just so long as it's not off-gassing polluted oxygen inside our CO2 pit, which is not quite a CO2 pit yet, but give it time. Slowly but surely, a little bit more CO2 will get in there every day. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Get rid of all of this junk out of here, and then fill this whole thing up with ethanol. We will hold off on putting in the ethanol for now. We just want to make sure we get all this stuff out of there first. I don't want any of that melting in there. You could end up with melted ice or God knows what. So let's just be safe rather than sorry. There we go. Nice little liquid lock. Now, we could, of course, use that ethanol and burn it in a petroleum generator, but that's not really as sustainable as I'd like. We just throw down some solar panels and we never have to look back at this again, which is kind of what I want for this planet. I want it to be minimal management. So we're just going to stick in a row of batteries here, then we're going to stick in a couple of solar panels up here, and that should be power on this planet sorted for the foreseeable future. So I think I might expand this tank just a little bit so that cool slush can vent some more of that delicious polluted water everywhere. While we were raiding through these lockers over here, we managed to get our hands on a, what do you call them, cool vest? I just want to see if they get hypothermia more easily. This is probably not a really good experiment, but I'm just sort of curious. I've never really used them. I know Sinatrak already has hypothermia, but Sinatra just seems to not really care so much yet. They'll find out in a minute once they get into that water. That looks minus 12.5. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. There we go, hypothermia. Nice. Yep, okay, now they've both got it. All right, we'll just expand this water tank a bit, and then we'll get up to space. Oh, while that's ongoing, we should probably come back here and get ourselves a second rocket pad. We're going to need another rocket pad here because we're going to want to send a rocket over to get our hands on some bees from our adjacent planet. Is that lead? No, we don't want to make that out of lead. Let's make that as something that's a little bit less melty. Yeah, that'll do just fine. For this rocket, we're going to want something that's fast. So I'm thinking carbon dioxide seems like the good way to go. Bizarrely enough, I think gold amalgam is our most common metal. Okay, that's good, I suppose. We're also going to need a spacefarer module on top of that. Yep, gold amalgam as well. And then, of course, a basic nose cone just to keep the whole thing intact. Refined carbon or ceramic? I think we'll just go with the refined carbon. That's nice and cheap. And done. That should be everything we need to get to the adjacent planet and bring back a bee. Over here, how are we looking? That is pretty much excavated out. We're going to stick a few batteries in here. The battery's purpose is going to be to store the solar power at night so that we don't run out of power when it hits nighttime, and that should be done. Just let them finish out that. Once that's done, it's time to go up to space over here. You know, while we're here, we might as well take advantage of the oxygen docks. That might be an idea. Under stations, we've got oxygen masks and oxygen checkpoints. Ooh, I didn't really organize this very well. I think we'll have to do a little go to the left and then up and around. Yeah, it should be fine. 1 second while we plan this out. Yeah, that looks about right. Though it will, of course, require power, won't it? So we won't really be able to use them immediately. But once we get up one solar panel, it should make their lives a little bit easier. Wait, I'm not seeing a power requirement. Okay. I'll worry about that in a minute then. At the same time, we're probably going to want to run an oxygen pipe from down here. Same thing again, we'll just split it off a waste pipe. Yank. There, sorry, no waste pipe. Just, I always pull off the white side here, which means it will prioritize everything that's before it first. So it will prioritize this green point here before. Though I suppose since that's at the end of the line, you know what, don't care. That will at least give us our oxygen in here, and we will have to probably make some sort of oxygen mask docks or something. I can't remember. I think you have to manually make these first. Yeah, we'll find out in a minute. Well, these things are going to require oxygen masks, so I think it's the crafting station for making those. That means we're going to need a little bit of power. I think, you know what, we'll try throwing down just a quick manual generator. I wanted to avoid using one of these. It just seems so inefficient at this stage of the game, but it's okay. We'll just use it just to get a few oxygen masks, and that should allow us to go up here and build our solar panels with a lot less complications, hopefully. There we go. We've got a tiny sliver of power pouring into the batteries. And oxygen mask complete. Excellent. That actually... Okay, we'll deliver and deliver. Is that 2 done? These are incredibly quick to build. They don't require power to run either, so these are actually... No, we'll see, we'll see. Also, it seems they can get worn out, but to replace them costs nothing. You just get a worn oxygen mask in, it gets repaired, and you get an oxygen mask that's repaired out. As opposed to Atmos suits, it costs you, I think, 1 reed fiber per repair. Alright, let's get these stocked up and see how this works out. I think we're good to go into space. What I've done is I've put a door up here and restricted our 2 bests, Sanathro and Sanathrak, to actually coming up here. Our new Shrek colonist is not going to be going through this section. Then we're going to dig our way up here and throw in a couple of solar panels. That should be it, though. I think we're running out of lead. We've only got 250 kilos of lead left. We're going to need to send over a bunch more lead if we want to run this power wire all the way to the bottom of the base. But this should give us a sustainable source of power for, well, to run this colony as long as we'd like. I am liking the oxygen masks for this. It does stop our people from having to run back in every 5 seconds and gasp for breath. At the same time that, well, they're going to get a little bit cold passing through this minus 20C liquid ethanol liquid lock, but no, I think this is going to work. I think this should be quite handy. Alright, once all of that is done, we can finally get around to harvesting some bees. So, back on our home planet over here, oh, I'm sending over some lead. Let's make sure, yeah, that should give us enough lead to keep us going. With that lead sent over, it's back to the rocket. Now, I've made a few changes to the rocket. The reason being, I want this rocket to have its own fuel supply on the way back. So we're going to fuel this up with carbon dioxide, give it a gas cargo canister, and it will be able to tap that gas canister back into the engine when we arrive on the other side to refuel it up. And as for the actual interior, we're just going to stick in a critter drop-off. That's literally all we're going to put on here. And bee tinies are all we're going to have on this thing. Should be fairly straightforward. Well, we're still going to have to send over a rancher who can wear a spacesuit. It's not going to be perfectly simple, but it should be, hopefully, not too much of a problem. Back to our swamp planet. Finish this off, people. We're so close. There we go. The power is now flowing into the batteries. Once we get the second one down... Oh, you know what? Maybe get rid of that, and we're going to have to get rid of all that. Oh, damn it. Probably should have planned ahead on this one. Fine. We'll put a ladder up there so we can clear all that area out. Otherwise, it'll be shielded and it'll only get partial light. Not a huge deal, but we'd like to be at least mildly efficient about these things. There we go. Power to base provided. We also shipped in another ton of lead. Let's run that. Oh, wow, that's... Did we just run out of lead? How did we run out of the lead that quickly? Okay, it's a pretty long run, I suppose. We do have... I did send over some copper. You know what? We'll burn through the copper. I don't care. We'll use whatever it takes to get this finished, because this is taking too long already. Alright, you guys finish that off. While that is going on, I want to do a little bit of more micromanagement back home. Now, by that I mean we need to finish off this rocket and get it fueled up with carbon dioxide. And why can't I... wait a minute. This is a gas cargo canister. Is that for picking up gas on the other end? Alright, I'm not even bothered figuring that out. I figure with one of these... Where is it? If we grab the rocket itself... how much space... Or how much distance can we get on that sucker? Yeah, we'll find out once it's finished and gassed up. For the time being, we're going to get our hands on a lot of carbon dioxide. And the easiest way to get lots of carbon dioxide is to go to the uranium biome. You notice that there's... how much is there? 231 kilos of carbon dioxide per tile in there. That's a lot of carbon dioxide. We're going to have to strip all that out before we bring the bees back. Otherwise, it will anesthetize the bees for eternity. And we're going to want to store some of that. So I'm thinking, yeah, right about here, we're going to vacuum this area out and prepare it for our bees. Some of what we're doing here is not going to make sense until we get our hands on the bees. It's just I did some experimenting in debug mode to know what I'm doing. I'm trying to explain it now while I'm trying to build it would sound crazy until you actually see the bees in action. So let's just strip this area out and turn it into a little bit of a storage area. In fact, we're going to vacuum this entire area out here. First thing we're going to do is seal this whole area off, and then we're going to vacuum it out. We don't want any oxygen, polluted oxygen, anything in here. Then we're going to let all this carbon dioxide out, and then we're going to, well, vacuum that carbon dioxide out as well and store it in gas tanks for use later. Well, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to use it later, but I'd like to have it on hand just in case. Well, there's 600 kilos there and another 600 kilos. Some of it we will end up dumping into space. That's just inevitable because I don't think there's enough. Even if we fill this whole area with gas tanks, I don't think we will manage the enormous amount of carbon dioxide that's usually in these pockets. All right, and this, actually, this one, we won't really need to worry about this being liquid or anything like that, or what liquid it is, because honestly, this is going to be in a whole vacuum, so who cares? I will be the first to admit that this seems like a little bit overkill, but it's my first time playing around with bees, and I don't want to mess it up. I want to make it, a nice, good setup and just see how it works. So we're going to vacuum out all of this, release all the carbon dioxide, and then vacuum out all of that. Though we'll probably have to do something with that chlorine. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to vacuum out the chlorine as well, but it's fine. It's fine. Simple enough to manage. And we've got our crude oil liquid lock flowing in there. What are we up to? Yeah, I think one more round and we should have a seal off right there. And then we can start putting power to all these gas pumps. Well, once they get built, of course. That's a lot of gas pumps. Well, here's another interesting mechanic from this game, and that is ice spontaneously melting a little bit. There is a little block of polluted ice there, 430 kilos, and the air that's hitting off it is somehow melting some of it, and it's occasionally just, plopping down a bunch of polluted water in here, messing up our whole attempt to turn this place into a perfect vacuum. Thank you so much. We are going to dig it out, seal it in with a tile, and then get rid of that polluted ice so it's not bothering us. Also, we do have to mop up all the polluted water. It's dumping everywhere. God. We'll dump all the polluted water down here. It's pretty close by. And we're almost done. Actually, wait, no. Let's get rid of whatever that is up there. I think... Okay, except for that critter. How did you... It's fine. You can stay in there. Actually, no. No. You know what? We're just going to kill you. Get rid of you. We don't want you in there. We don't want anything complicating this. What are you doing in there too? Oh, they were actually passing through that liquid lock. In that case, I think we'll put in a door there to make sure no more critters join us. Almost a complete vacuum. Come on, just get at the last. Most of it's just dissipating, and come on, beautiful, and gone. All right, door completed. Animals inside, soon to be defeated, and then we can start letting out that carbon dioxide. We're going to have to put in a bunch of gas tanks here and somehow work them around the gas pumps. Let me think for a minute. See, I want to excavate all of this, make sure all the uranium is exposed for the bees. We want to maximize productivity here. Oh, we're probably going to want to strip out that wolfram ash. Let me think for a moment. And that looks like we could store a lot of gas in there, right? We're just going to try and fill all of these tanks with carbon dioxide. I'm not sure how much of it we're going to need later on, but I'd like to have a whole bunch of cold carbon dioxide just lying around, just in case we need it for some bee anesthetization. While we're waiting for this to build, I've noticed things are a bit slow. We just don't have enough duplicants to get everything done in time, so I'm definitely going to hire a couple more. It's just I've been keeping an eye out for any decent ones, and so far yeah, we haven't been too impressed. I'm thinking, though, this one's not bad. They've got a suit wearing and researching, so why not? We can hire these ones and they'll do a good job of just about anything. Please welcome Chief Multi-Hat to the team. Chief Multi-Hat, you can be trapped inside and you are going to be doing nothing but gym membership for quite some time. They should spend all their waking hours, well, after they grab a quick... Yep, go on, queue up, get your points, and boom, onto that. They should spend pretty much their entire day there from now on. Oh, wow, they got a couple of doubles left. Righto, they'll spend most of their time there training. Oh, unless I put them on the wrong schedule. I didn't put them on a schedule at all, did I? Chief Multi-Hat, come on down here. There you go. Much better. We'll put them down there, and we can finish off this over here. Oh, damn it. I made a mistake here and didn't insulate this area. I want to make sure that any gases that end up in here don't get heated. We don't want anything getting too warm. Otherwise, when we do migrate into bees, well, they'll just die. They don't like high temperatures. So, by high temperatures, anything above 0 degrees. We're going to break in here, and our job is to extract everything that's not uranium. Do we need to extract everything that's not uranium? No, I just want to expose all the surfaces so that it's easier. And yeah, we're going to be getting rid of everything that is not uranium ore. Ice, wolframite, anything like that. We don't want anything contaminating this area. There will be a little bit of chlorine you won't be able to avoid, but hey, c'est la vie. All of that gotta go. Oop. That looks like we'll get most of it. And by most of it, I mean every single bit that's not the uranium ore. We'll have to go over the numbers again on why we're going this extreme. But first, let's finish this off. We're pretty close now. The moment we start cracking this open, that smaller pocket of carbon dioxide is breaking out, and we'll just start dumping it into the storage tanks. The stuff that we put in now, any left... Well, we're going to use this early batches to fill our rockets so that we can send it over to pick up the bees. So close, so close. Come on, I just want to get some refinement started. And now comes all of the other carbon dioxide. Dear Lord, there's so much in there. Well, okay, no, we've got another 1,200 kilos up there. Even with all these gas tanks, we haven't got a hope of storing this all, I'd say. But it's fine, it's fine. We knew that was going to happen. The rest will just dump into space. It's just more a case of we want to have a big stockpile of this because I think we may need a bunch of it. We may not, but I would like to have it on hand rather than not have it if we need it. Well, that went about as I expected. We managed to fill 4, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 gas tanks. 17 gas tanks full of carbon dioxide. A little bit of chlorine in the odd one, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. A little bit of chlorine is grand. Now we just have to get rid of the rest of the gas. If we try to put bees in here, they'll just get knocked out. Carbon dioxide puts them to sleep, unfortunately. So I'm thinking, yeah, we're just going to connect up the gas pumps to an outflow pipe. That pipe is going to go all the way up to space. And 1 second, it goes all the way up here, and it's going to feed into our CO2 rocket. All the excess will get flooded off here sideways and go into these. And then any of these that it overflows past, well, we'll just put in a high pressure gas vent right here. Come on, right there, and done. That should mean we'll eventually siphon that place out. Now, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to put on dinner. And we're just about done. Would you look at that? There's only just chlorine left, small enough amounts that even if we let this probably turn off the gas pumps now, the sheer vacuum force over here would eventually cause it just to dissipate. Once it gets to small enough amounts, it just vanishes on its own. So it's time to start sending our team across. For our team, we're looking at John Fushi and Kayin. Okay. These two over here, I put them on the same schedule. The moment they get up in the morning, they're getting onto the rocket and they're heading off to pick ourselves up that new bee. We want our bee. This is what our rocket looked like. It looks like it is, kind of tiny. We went with a very minimalist approach here, I might say. We're going to assign Kayin and John Fush, and we're going to crew them both up. We are going to change the location. We want you to go here. Oh, damn it. It's not a right click. It's a left click. Wait a minute. It should have given me the option to choose a landing pad. Any landing pad? No. Rocket platform 426. Yeah. Perfect. Once they're boarded, we can begin the launch. There comes Kay. Where's the other one? Come on. Yep, there's the second one. All right, you're both on board. Perfect. Time to go, I believe. Everything else is ticked off. Yeah, I think we can begin launch sequence. Yeah, you can slow that down a little bit. Okay. Godspeed. No, that's too slow. Faster. There we go. All right, that's them launched. Perfect. Now, if we've done this right... Come on, let me in. Nope, wrong one. Oh, go. You get off that. Yeah, let Kayin do it. They've got far better skills at this than you have. That's why I sent them. Is there any way I can stop them from getting on that again? Don't think so. I think I'm just stuck having to manually keep an eye on them. Okay, in flight 2. Yeah, they'll make it in 0.2 of a cycle. That's exactly what we want. Alright, now that they're on their way, we do have this place set up. We got a little rocket platform set up there. We want to go down to the bottom here and get ready for the bees. So we're going to want to crack this open, and then we're going to want to send someone in to tank the bee hits. Each one of these bees are going to sting them, and it won't kill them, but I think they can tank about 6 hives worth of bees and still be alive. So this will just, inconvenience them a little bit. Oh, maybe we should put together a medical cot. Quick medical cot couldn't hurt. There we go. Triage cot. They'll be fine. Oh, seriously, you're on your break? Fine. You can get around to doing this once you're off your break. The rocket will be here shortly. And Sinatro's here. Alright, perfect, buddy. I am going to need you to take one for the team, so to speak. Just wandering over there. That should totally annoy them. Okay. Are they going to... You know what? Let's just hit enable auto harvest. That will definitely get their goat. 415 kilos of enriched uranium. Oh, man. Someone come down here and harvest that and get stung, would you? Oh, rocket has landed. Time to get things started. Okay, we have plenty of fuel left over. How much fuel we got? But from looking at that 25 kilos is all we burned. Excellent. We could do this round trip twice. Okay, crew, we want to... All duplicants may enter and exit the module freely. That is fine. Let's have a quick look in the interior and make sure this is set up for bees. Yep. And we'll make that a priority 9. And then we're going to go back outside. Don't get too confused now. Now, this should allow them to exit. We're going to go down here and we're going to wrangle ourselves a bee. You? No, you're 2 years of age? Oh, we don't want the 2-year-old one. We'll wrangle that one. What? Come on. There's a rancher in the colony. One moment. Oh. They're harvesting this. Excellent. What are they? Is that an ice cream scooper? Are you harvesting enriched uranium with an ice cream scooper? I mean, fair dues. 415 kilos of enriched uranium. Okay, I think the radiation suit is protecting them from the bees. The bees won't sting them. Because normally I'd send in a duplicate and they'd get mauled instantly, but the radiation suit seems to protect them. Alright, that's good to know. Can you two get out now? Perfect. Alright, so we've got that there. They should be able to wander down here. 1 second while I figure out why they're not able to get down here. Could be I hadn't set the doors permissions here. Perfect. Alright, they should be able to go straight down there, grab a radiation suit and wrangle us up a bee. Nice. I would prefer to get the youngest bee possible though, because it's going to be a little bit of a journey. Oh, we found a 0-year-old. 0-year-old. Never mind, we found a new bee tiny, so we're going to nab that one. Perfect. Now, you should automatically grab it and haul it up to the ship, should you? Yeah, critter drop off. Perfect. Okay, grab that. Now, we need to... Now, you got to remember, these things are... Well, it's super cold. So it's minus 37. Let's make sure its temperature doesn't change. Yeah, the moment we get out of there, its temperature is going up. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Did you get... No, you didn't get called to lunch. We don't want you to grab a... Who dropped their Atmos suit? Oh, damn it. That was probably the rocket pilot. Okay, we'll have you not pick up the oxygen mask. Okay. You've still got the bee tiny, but we wanted you to unequip the lead suit. Yeah, I think. No, I want you to drop the... Never mind, you know what? It's okay. You can keep the oxygen mask. Take it with you. Perfection. Okay. View interior. Nice. Then what we'll have you do is we'll have you pick up that Atmos suit. It seems they don't want to leave. First they want to use the bathrooms, and you know what? That's okay. If you gotta use the bathroom, maybe grab a meal while you're here, I'm okay with that. But you're not... maybe grab a nap? I suppose we've got one full cycle, so yeah, it's not the worst idea in the world. And you're gonna eat on the ground. Nope, it's grand. It's grand. We're not going to bother building you a mess table. But now where are you going? Yes, you're going back. And you? Okay, perfect. Whew. This is not the worst. You, I want you to put on the suit. Nice. And then we'll get the other one to put on the suit and we'll send them both home. After way too much effort, we managed to get them on board and we're going to launch them. Gonna need you to go now, begin launch sequence, and off you go. Perfect. In fact, let's make sure that... John? No. No. You're not allowed on there. You know the... Kate? Why? You have the worst rocketry skill. Yeah, there we go. Kayin can manage it. That way we actually get a little bit more of a bonus on our return flight home. 0.3 cycles. Thank you. Nice. Okay, done. We've got a bee on its way back. We just have to make sure we've got a bee section ready. This is going to be our next radiation enrichment area, but over here is where we're going to have all the bees go first. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll put it in the very corner one over here. We'll crank that up to a priority 9. The moment this rocket gets back, we're going to wrangle up the bee and we're going to put it right there. And then we get to see how this magic works. One thing to note about a rocket flight now, you get exposed to radiation. You have 10 rads if you're in the pilot seat, 4 rads if you're left or right of it, and 1 rad on the very edges. Also, wait, that thing's giving off a whole bunch of radiation. Maybe don't stand around the radioactive bee. Yeah, just stand over there. That's fine. Far less radiation exposure. What you up to? Yeah, it's only 5.8 rads. You'll be fine. Probably. We'll once that rocket comes back, we'll move the bee immediately. Oh, I think that rocket is back. We will immediately wrangle that bee. Come on. Perfect. And then we're going to make sure the crew can exit the capsule as much as they want. And let's see. Yep. All. Now, did either of you take the bee? Please tell me you took the... Right. One moment. All right. Philip and Matthew Torres is on their way to do this errand. In the meantime, the bug, please tell me you're not too cold. Body temperature. No. That's no. We went through all this effort. Oh, well, there's a dead bee. Come on. Seriously. Thank you, Matthew. Will it live? Damn it. I don't think it will. I think it's going to die on the way there. Because the temperature got too cold. Errands. Oh, no. They're still on their way. Let's see if they make it. All right, they're here. And it vanished because it died en route. Okay, give me 5 more minutes. Much simpler plan. Kayin is going on their own journey. They're going to take the rocket with them all the way over. That's it. So we're going to crew this up. Kayin's going to hop into it, and they're going to fly it all the way over to the other planet. They're loaded in. We choose the destination. We begin the launch sequence. We let them off. Boom. And that was... Okay, they seem to teleport there. Boom. Alright, they'll head over that direction. Once they get there, we'll go to the second part of the plan. Our rocket pilot has done their job. They've brought the rocket over to the planet. That means we can kick them out. They no longer need to be crew here. So we change the crew. We remove them from the crew list. They should immediately hop out. Excellent. You know what you can do? You can hop onto the teleporter and go home. We're going to send them... Oh, see destination? That's great. But no, that's not what we want. We want to go back to here. We want to go to the teleporter, and we're going to send Kayin home. Easy peasy. And you know who we're going to send here the other direction? Bye-bye, Kayin. This is... Yeah, this may sting just a tiny tad. Gone. Perfect. And they're home. Right, let's check who's awake right now that we could send over. Foosh, off you go, buddy. Hop in here. We're going to teleport you over. And then once you get to the other side, we'll get you to bring one of those bees back. Teleport away. Done. Perfect. Then, ooh, no, we'll have you drop your suit, I think, right now. That's the first thing you're going to do. We don't want you having that suit on you because it's going to mess with things. Unequip this suit. Yeah, now let me think for a minute. All right, they're in the rad suit. You're going to grab a bee. Come on, what you doing? Why'd you give up? Perfect. Now you should move it. Now I've set you to the rocket, so you should be able to grab this and pull it into the rocket. You know what? We're going to wrangle all the bees in here. We'll grab 2 of them. Now that should get them all wrangled up, and they should get brought up here and dumped into this rocket. And I've put them on an insulated tile so that they can't exchange heat with anything. They should be just stuck up there, isolated on a nice insulated tile, as opposed to sitting on a steel one. Sinastro brings them out, and then they can pop off home. Let's see, that's the one that's 1 year old. I want to grab the one that's a little bit younger, if at all possible, because the more bees we have, the more opportunities we have to get this right and not mess it up a second time. And then we have John Fushi. Get him down here, grab their Atmos suit and put it back on. Perfect. Then they just crew up the ship, hop on board, and then we can fly them back home. And after all of this, hopefully after all of this, it will be worth it. I think it will, but I definitely admit this was a little bit more tricky than I was anticipating. Right, let's change destination and get you home. Begin the launch sequence. And poof. Yeah, I think my speed mod is probably messing with the animation there. Just a teensy bit. All right, we're back home. While they're coming back with bees, I'm going to prepare this next area for the next set of bees we're going to have. In terms of travel time, I'm not seeing any difference between our rancher and our rocket pilot. Our rocket pilot has level 2 rocket piloting, but does not seem to speed it up in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, that might have been a waste. Okay, well, hopefully we'll soon have some bees to play with after all of this. Oh, someone peed their suit, but that's fine, that's fine. The bees are still minus 30 degrees. You're doing well, buddy. Bring it home, bring it home. Now that we're home, we're going to grab these, and we're going to immediately move them. One of them might die before we get there. It's going to age out. Ooh, one of them's already 2. It's fine. So long as they get wrangled and brought down, it should be okay. Alright, we just need one of them to survive. Just one. That's all we need, guys. Just one. Here they come now, and we have a bee. Perfect. Deconstruct that immediately. Oh, no! We never got to deconstruct the critter drop-off fast enough. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll have another one along in a second. Okay, fine. Now, this bee tiny, what age are you? You're 1 year of age. That is perfect. Let's keep an eye on this and when it hits 2. So the way this is supposed to work is if a bee tiny is not in range of a hive or it can't find a hive nearby, it will turn into its own hive. However, if it can find a hive nearby, it will turn into a beta. So it either turns into a flying bee or it turns into a hive depending on what's in its location. And, well, let's just say they can't see through doors. Also, they can't hop over things. So this should turn into a hive right here. Once it's turned into a hive, it will start spawning more bees, or bee tinies. And then we can start using those bee tinies to populate other areas with more hives, which we could then spread out to our entire base. That's the theory. So let's fast forward this a bit and see if it works. There we go. Say hello to our new beautiful little hive. Okay, I wouldn't say that's beautiful, that's kind of actually weird looking. But this will turn into a full-sized beta hive. And when it does, it'll start spawning more little bees. And those little tiny bees, we're going to use them to make so many hives. We're going to cram 6 of them in here. Now, I've been doing the numbers on this. Let me grab my notes. I got 6 hives and I ran them for a bunch of cycles. I think it was, what, about 10, 12 cycles? And then I averaged out to figure out how much each hive will produce per cycle. It works out at about 4.45 kilos of enriched uranium. Now, so bear in mind it takes 10 kilos of enriched uranium per cycle to run one reactor, and you get 4.45 on average out of each hive. That means with 3 hives, you'd have 13.35 kilos. With this 6, we're going to get about, 26 kilos of enriched uranium per cycle, which is enough to run 2 reactors flat out. And that's just with this section. Oh, and while we're here, let's have a quick go over the uranium numbers, because that got people last time as well. If we go down here, we actually have a biome. Where is it? This one down here. And there was a few lumps of uranium here that were outside the biome, and they were too warm to be really used by bees. So we're going to mine out this uranium ore here. There's 100 kilos of it. The thing is, though, the moment we mine it, we lose half the mass, and it drops from 100 kilos to 50 kilos. This is bad. And there you go. Where is it? Nope. Give me it. Oh, finally. Found it there at the back. There's some uranium ore hidden at the back. 50 kilos of this stuff. So basically you lose half the mass the moment you mine it. That gives you 50 kilos. Now we can throw that into... Where is it? This thing over here. In fact, I think we will throw it into this thing over here. We'll run one batch of this so you can see how inefficient this is. This is probably not where you should be running a uranium enrichment facility, but whatever. Now we're going to grab 10 kilos of uranium ore and we're going to run it through this. What it's going to result in is 2 kilos of enriched uranium and 8 kilos of uranium. Well, actually, depleted uranium. It says here uranium, but what actually comes out is depleted. Let's have a quick look and see what it looks like when it actually functions. Please note, you just throw the uranium in and then it does its thing. It doesn't actually require any duplicate interaction, bar filling it. Sorry, I think there was a save game there. And it starts doing its thing. Status 10 kilos of uranium ore. Now we'll have to keep an eye on this here once it's just about finished. I can even tell if it's just about finished. Hurry up, hurry up. Here we go. Done. So what happens now is it spits out a few different byproducts. First is that, which is 8 kilos. Yeah, 8 kilos of uranium it calls it, but it's liquid uranium. Down the bottom here you'll see there's actually 2 kilos of enriched uranium. So the 8 kilos, you don't lose any mass. It's just that it just so happens that 7.6, where's the other 0.4 kilos? It's supposed to be another 0.4 kilos here, people. Also, I think that's a little bit radioactive. No, never mind. Radiation completely safe. Okay, turns out you can run this here. This stuff comes out quite hot. Depleted uranium, there's no known use for it yet that I've been able to find. It's just a byproduct of creating this. You can use it to make metal tiles, though. So if you go into metal tiles, I believe you can use enriched uranium. Yeah, depleted uranium can be used for that, which is a bit unique in that it melts at 125 C, meaning this thing will melt at really low temperatures. Just an odd thing to note. Also, it doesn't really have any special benefits that I can think of, though I think it's very transparent to radiation, which might be useful if you're trying to wall in some areas in space, but we'll get back to that. All right, and that is what the uranium centrifuge does. Now let's fast forward it and see what the bees do, because the bees are so much more efficient. You have to imagine, if we put all 50 kilos of uranium we got through that, we would have ended up with 10 kilos of enriched uranium and then however many of depleted uranium that's completely useless to us. This over here, though, is a little bit unique. And it's built. It's actually built itself up, and we have a bee tiny that has... Did that spawn inside there? We'll wrangle it up anyway and see if we can grab it. Can you move? Yeah, you can. So we grab the bee tiny, and then we move this on to the next one, so we can spawn a hive in there. These things can spawn infinite amount of bee tinies. They don't ever starve to death as far as I can tell, so it doesn't really matter if we keep nicking all the bees out of it. And we're going to grab this bee, put it there, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Oh, every time one of these bee tinies or the flying bees die, they leave behind a little bit of solid nuclear waste. You can... Well, I haven't found a use for the solid nuclear waste either, to be honest. Nuclear waste, it seems, nothing you can do with it. I'm hopeful that the depleted uranium and the nuclear waste we can maybe combine the two of them somehow to make more uranium, or, and take the depleted uranium and make it into more enriched uranium. Something like that would be very nice, but I wouldn't hold my breath just yet. This should be our first expansion. Yeah, it'll take a moment to drop, then they should drop it off here. The moment the critter is there, we delete the critter drop off. Pretty straightforward. Done, and deconstruct you. Then I'm just going to change all the priorities on these. I don't think this is really necessary, but hey, it's something to do while we're waiting. Then we do the 8s and the 7s and finally the 6s. These things, I don't know the exact numbers on when they spawn these things, but as far as I'm aware, they seem to spawn about 1 bee tiny every cycle. The bee tinies mutate after about 2 cycles and a bit, and then they turn into bees if there's a beta hive around, and those bees will live for about 2.5 cycles as well. So you get about 2.5 cycles of that bee flying around harvesting. Oh, and there we go. Another beta hive. Done. It can't detect that beta hive because there's a door in the way. We've basically made a whole bunch of miniature rooms. However, any of the bees that spawn out of here, they can fly through those doors, no problem. This means we can mass produce. I don't know if they intended this, and I don't know if they'll keep allowing it, but it does mean we can mass produce a lot, and I mean a lot of enriched uranium from just this. Every single tile of this can be turned. But you know what? Hold off on that until we finish doing this out. I'm basically just going to repeat this process all the way along until all 6 of these are filled. One of the really great things about this is just the scale-up potential is incredible. We have 6 hives now up and running, and each one of them has produced one of these bee tinies. Well, I've been kind of a little busy beeing myself in the background. Down here you'll notice we've got 6 more hives on the way. As well as that, we've got space down here with this next uranium biome, and we've already got 1 hive in here, and we've got space for 5 more, which are just about to get started because we're about to wrangle 5 of the 6 betas up there. I haven't even had time to complete this next section over here, which will bring us up to a grand total of, well, 24 hives. That's an awful lot of uranium enrichment. And that's how quickly you can scale up. It gets to the point where you can't keep up as quickly with it. Now, there was some questions as to why I don't just do this on the other planet, as in over here. Now, we could, but it'd be really hard to scale it up quite so fast over here. The problem is, it's just, this is a much larger uranium biome, and we will scale up over here. It's just, we're going to take our time on that one. We want to have all the stuff on our home planet nice and close. And look at the amount of uranium here. We're going to be able to run like 2-4 reactors for thousands and thousands of cycles. There's so much here. So long as we use bee refinement, we will be sorted. But yes, let's finish this off. Did they get wrangled? No, they did not. Zach, though, is taking care of it. Nope, he's off to lunch. God damn it, guys. Don't you know this is time sensitive? If they go to 2 years of age, they might start trying to turn into bees in here. It doesn't matter. We can come in here at any time and expand the population. Let's have a look, see how the refinement process works. The bee tinies now are about to hit 2.5 years of age, which means some of them should start turning into bees, at which point they'll go up here and start harvesting this uranium ore. Please note, all the uranium ore up here, 100 kilos in size, every single last piece of it. So because that's all 100 kilos in size, we know exactly how much uranium ore is there, and we'll know exactly how much they're extracting from it when the bees start to mine. Oh, there they go. We got betas, 2 of them. I think something to do with the wrangling messed those ones up. But that's okay. Now, they will hang around for a bit, but then they sort of have, oh God, how do I explain this? When it comes to the beta hives, they were pretty much always going to be hungry. If you hover over them, you can see they're idle and hungry. That's because no matter how many bees there seems to be, they can never fill them up fast enough. The bees harvest uranium, but they don't do it quick enough to support the hives they're on. So 1 hive will never produce enough bees to give it enough uranium to stop it ever being hungry. However, do you mine anything? Come on, you're thinking about it. No. They have a cooldown on how long it'll take them. We'll keep an eye on them here, and we'll watch for them to actually start mining. Damn it, I missed it. The bee went up to this piece of uranium ore here and mined it, and it's brought away 1 kilo, well, 1 kilo of uranium ore. So it actually perfectly mined 1 kilo. That kilo, it drops off here at this refinery, or beta, whatever you call it, beta hive. And there you have 1 kilo of uranium ore in the hive. It starts to glow green, and it starts processing it. Give it a second, and then when we check back, come on, it takes a minute before it updates, unfortunately. Come on. Ah, there we go. It's actually finished. We now have 900 grams of enriched uranium. So if you've managed to turn 1 kilo of uranium ore without actually mining it or doing anything with it, the bee directly turned it into 900 grams of enriched uranium, meaning this is 90% efficient. The other method of mining and using the machine, that's 10% efficient. This allows us to stretch our uranium supplies amazingly well. This here is going to give us all the uranium we need to run 2 reactors quite easily and then have some left over. Though it's going to take a while for it to get up to speed. We're going to... Oh, and as well as that, the bees, they don't discriminate between hives. So say a bee was born at this hive, it will have no problem feeding the ones in the middle or whichever one's closest. They basically seem to react on whatever's closer, they'll go feed it. Which means these center hives will probably end up with more uranium refinement going on and the edge ones with less. If you want to boost refinement, what you can do, if you desperately need it really quickly and you still want a bit of efficiency, you can literally mine out the tiles yourself. You lose half the mass from mining it, but then the bees will pick it up, and they won't pick up 1 kilo at a time. From debris piles of uranium, they'll pick up 10 kilos at a time, allowing you to max out all the beta hives. In fact, that's the only way I found to make all the beta hives no longer hungry. You'll be able to feed them enough uranium fast enough that they'll stop being hungry. But this only results, once you max it out though, you'll probably need about double your production. Now that's just from eyeballing it, I didn't actually do any long-term testing. But if you mine and leave a bunch of uranium debris on the ground, you'll be able to process uranium twice as fast. However, you lose half the mass, of course. Just much of a muchness. And considering how easy it is to expand these, I'm in no real rush. For example, this one here is starting to come online, and this one over here, yeah. What I'm going to try here is this carbon dioxide and anesthetized bees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this out, let the carbon dioxide flow down here, and the bees will start absorbing it at 100 grams a second. Now you got to remember there's going to be about 3 to 5 of these at any one time, so each one of these will basically absorb about 500 grams of carbon dioxide per second. So that's 3 kilos of carbon dioxide per second will be absorbed by these. You won't be doing any mining, but it should mean that they'll be able to absorb all of the nasty carbon dioxide in here really quickly, all on their own, without us having to pump it up into space. We could try and save that carbon dioxide for something, but I think we've already got enough on standby. Now, I kept a bunch of this carbon dioxide just for rockets, and as well as that, if we want to anesthetize all these bees, just in case there's a problem with them stinging our duplicants, we can simply deconstruct these gas tanks. This whole area will flood with carbon dioxide and knock out all the bees unconscious. Just something we keep on hand. As well as that, the reason I built these all in a vacuum, it's very important to do that. Let's say come down here. For example, this is all built in a vacuum. If we hadn't have built it in a vacuum, the first bees, and there's carbon dioxide in here, the first bees that get shoved down here will immediately fall asleep. And sleeping bee tinies do not turn into beta hives. In fact, they don't transform at all. So you don't want sleeping bees when you're trying to make the hives at first. I mean, Jesus, we've now got what, 6, 12, 18 hives already. That's, yeah, that's good going. I like that. Now, we'll just skip it forward just a few cycles so that we can have a fully active hive up here, because this is kind of weird looking. Also, I'd like to note, the betas are in vacuum. This is a complete vacuum and somehow they're still flying. That means they have to be equipped with anti-gravity. It's the only explanation. You can't flap your wings in a vacuum and go anywhere. Well, those bees are, well, slowly going through the refinement. Down here we've got a whole bunch of carbon dioxide has just been released. Now all the bees should decide it's time to take a nap. Come on. Maybe I've got the game going too fast. Come on. Yep, there they go. They've all passed out on one spot, consuming 100 grams of carbon dioxide per second. So they should handily eat their way through this. Might take them, 100 or 200 cycles. But as far as I'm aware, the beta hives don't stop spitting out bees. So they should continue to spit out bee tinies. And the bee tinies here also consume 100 grams of carbon dioxide per second. Which means this should handily eat all of the nasty carbon dioxide here. Would not advise you to release the carbon dioxide though until after you've got the hives up, remember? Also, maybe watch out for the enormous amount of radiation they're giving off. That's 1,400 rads if you're standing beside it, 2,200 if you're inside it. I think Shabir got a little bit of a rad dose there. I've arranged for them to get their hands on some anti-rad meds. That should hopefully make them feel a little bit better. But in the meantime, we'll let them do all their sleepy times down there and hopefully absorb all that carbon dioxide. That is what a busy hive looks like. Nothing but lots of flying bees all going around. And what have we got so far? We got 7.2, 8, 5, 13, 9, and 2.7. That's a lot of kilos of uranium, and it's only going to keep going up. And this hive is really only just starting to spin up now. It's probably at about max population, I think, with all of those bees. So that entire hive will just start strip mining through that at a pretty decent clip. Now, if we go down to our second area here, yeah, there's a lot of carbon dioxide. They're down to what, 21.4 kilos? It's going to take them a while to chew through it all, but really not in a hurry. We should be fine, especially considering we have one reactor that's already running. Down here, we've also opened up the carbon dioxide for this area. Dear Lord, yeah, the poor betas. You really better be careful not to stand too close to them. They gave off a lot of rads. Oh my god, so many rads. And we're only using atmo suits, we're not using radiation suits. In fact, we can chew that out there. I'm just thinking, I want to break open the other pockets of carbon dioxide, set them out. So I think, you know what? We'll let that go for a while. There's no rush on this one. And over here we have our final one getting up and built. This one will also get tapped into here. We'll have to put in, of course, 6 bees. The 6 bees will turn into 6 hives, and that will be this place set up to go as well. Though this is a rather small one, isn't it? Pity. Oh yeah, but that's going to be it for today. I think the very next episode is going to be all about nuclear reactors. We're going to be straight for a double reactor design, and we're going to be churning out the power. We have left so many things on the long finger to rush this, and also, yeah, I probably could have done things a lot more efficiently, but you know, first time around on the new expansion. We need to make ourselves an industrial brick once we've got the reactors up and running. We need to do a bunch of other things because we just haven't bothered. We've been rushing for nuclear. Anyway, I'm doing a bunch of overtime this week, so I'll be a bit late on the RimWorld episode on Tuesday. It might make it till Wednesday. Apologies for that. But barring that, everything should stay on target. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.